He then thinks, what if I offer a partnership in my team, half of the shares, to Ayrton Senna? And suddenly, he agrees to race here and everything could change for my team's future. That's right. And you're in for small great stories every week, here on Splash and Go. You already know a little story from Formula One, or not, as long as it's quick, fun to tell, and nice to know. Let's go! Edmund Patrick Jordan, recently deceased, is considered one of the most interesting, intelligent, and entertaining figures in the history of Formula One. I've even re-recorded Teams We Love, Jordan, for you to watch. Link in the description. If you watched it there, you know most of it, but I'll summarize it very briefly here to provide context for what I'm going to tell. Jordan was a Formula One team between 1991 and 2005, when it was sold to the Midland Group. But before that, it had gone through Formula 3, Formula 3000, and only then moved up to the Major League. Yes, in the past, teams advanced to Formula One just as much as the drivers did. In 1991, with that fabulous 7-Up livery, on one of the, in my opinion, most beautiful cars in history. Back in 1983, in the legendary English Formula 3 Championship calendar, contested between Martin Brundle with Jordan and Ayrton Senna, which even ended in a crash. Eddie had met the Brazilian driver, who even tested one of his cars, before signing with another team. Senna had raced for the rival West Surrey Telegram. But, as you might imagine, the paddock of a feeder series is much smaller. Everyone talks to everyone, so Eddie and Senna would arrive in Formula One at different times, but they already knew each other. When Jordan moved up, in 1991, Senna was already, by then, a double champion, and would win his third championship in 91. Subsequently, both Senna and Jordan would have bad years. Eddie's team would get into a tricky situation with the factory Yamaha engines, but at least they would receive a good amount of money for it. And the duo Ivanka, Pera, and Mauricio, with Jomin in the Alfregaria. It would be Mauricio's last year in Formula One, in fact. And they scored only 1 point with Capelli, and Gugelmin's best result was 7th place. In 93, Rubens Barrichello then comes in, and the team improves significantly, largely due to the Brazilian's performance. A rookie, but we know an excellent driver. And it was around that time, between 92 and 93, that Eddie Jordan recounts that he spoke with Ayrton Senna about the possibility of the Brazilian joining the team as a driver and as a partner. Because Senna also had a bad year in 92 and would sign to race with McLaren in 93. I've already mentioned this in this video here, on a race-by-race agreement, where he earned a lot of money, but didn't have much chance of fighting for the championship, as we know. The McLaren car from that year, the MP48, had a good chassis, good aerodynamics, and excellent electronics, but it suffered with 70 horsepower less compared to the Renault V10 of Alain Prost. Jordan mentioned in several interviews before he died, I thought, if I offer him half of my team, it will be worth much more. Half of 100 is one thing, 100% of 10 is another. And he said that some conversations did take place. And he would then bring Senna to race alongside Rubens Barrichello for the 1994 season. And he imagined, with a star like that, I can get sponsors, I can get factory support from some big company. In this case, an engine supplier. And I stop being a team struggling to survive. And I start to think big. The deal, as we know, never happened. But it would have been interesting to have Ayrton Senna and Rubens Barrichello as a pair in the 1994 season. And it is indeed possible that Jordan could have become a great team. After all, no, it's not every day you have a 3-time champion available. Jordan, as I explain in the video with the complete story, would go on to compete for victories. And they came quite close to the 1999 championship with Heinz-Harald Frentzen. But it's always delightful to speculate about what this pair, in this car, this team, could have been with Eddie Jordan? Could it be that, in an alternative reality, Rubens Barrichello would have challenged Senna like, I don't know, Leclerc challenged Vettel in 2019? Could the attraction generated by a figure of this caliber have indeed made Jordan great? And would it still be around today? In a certain way, it is in the company registration and the factory, next to the campus that Aston Martin has just inaugurated. Because Jordan became Midland, which turned into Spiker, which became Force India, which turned into Racing Point. And today, the team of Puppastroll, what would have become of them in 94, 95, 96, 97? Golden. Comment down below. So that was another little big story from Splash and Go on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, it's free, costs nothing and helps the channel a lot. Want to pass it on to me? Want to pass it on to us? And I invite you to comment here on what would have become of Jordan. But if you don't want to write anything, just leave a little emoji, because the algorithm multiplies the reach of the video when there are plenty of comments, so you don't miss out on anything we publish here. We have Telegram channels, WhatsApp, and also on Instagram. As always, you start receiving the automatic market update the moment I publish each of these videos, and we also have our social networks, Instagram, Twitter, and there's content, timing, everything. Alright, so that's it. Cheers, and a big hug.